to begin with, I'd like to pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ Dhammam Sangham Namasami. So I was just reflecting as we were sitting on how when we practice meditation, we're really coming into kind of the reality of our existence, of our world. And, it's like a lot of the day-to-day life, our focus is on all sorts of things going on around us, isn't it? And it's a kind of more expansive, in a way, experience of the world. But we can recognize, can't we, when we practice meditation, that actually the world is all here. We're receiving, from the outside. And the sense of sight, seeing, gives us a feeling of space and distance. Things out there, even considerably far away, and we can see, and they become part of our world. But the seeing, of course, is happening here. And so it is with hearing. Maybe slightly more limited range, but we can still hear sounds far and near. And yet the hearing is happening right here. And so it is with touch, more obviously, and taste and smell. And thinking, of course, it's all coming from here. It's all here. And our world, really, the world that we can know, is the world of the six senses. And it's very interesting just to appreciate that. The Buddha spoke about this so many times in so many suttas. The six sense bases, the six sense doors: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking. And also he spoke about the 18 different realms, the Manopavichara. Mano, mind. Pavi is like a going out or going into. Chara is like a process, walking. So the ways the mind moves, the places the mind can go, the processes that the mind can enter into are just 18. There are 18 experiences we can have a way again to reflect on our world, our reality. That we have the six senses, the six sense objects outside, out there, seemingly, and the six sense doors that receive the input from these objects. And then there are the responses that we have. And for each of the senses, we can have 3 different kinds of response to any sight, any sound, etc., any thought. We can either have a feeling of that this is pleasant, can't we? This is pleasant, I like it. It gives a good feeling, a pleasant sensation arises. Or unpleasant, don't like, unwanted feeling arises, unwanted response. or response of not wanting, and neutral, neither particularly pleasant or unpleasant, just in between. And so these 18 different ways of experiencing the world, and we're constantly, bombarded, really, aren't we, with input, whether it's from the sense objects or from the mind itself. There's always something going on, and it's either pleasant or it's unpleasant or it's neutral. And so we're responding. We're so sensitive. We're so alive to all of this constant stream of input. And then there's these 18 responses playing out all the time. We're jumping from one thing to another very often. And the Buddha said, this is our world, this is our place. And if we can, learn to recognize and simply be present for this, understanding, really through meditation, through stopping and contemplating the Buddha's teachings, but also, and more importantly, experiencing this reality for ourselves through meditation, where we can, whereby we can kind of slow things down a bit, can't we? We can simplify things a little bit. We can start to notice how it is that when there's the willingness to be present, this is what can be experienced. Liking and disliking, or neither, and the six senses giving us the world, creating the world right here. And the Buddha encouraged us to really open to this. It's a simplifying, but it's also noticing the diverse, the unpredictable, the relentless nature of experience, the reality of having a body that's so open and receptive and constantly feeling and feeling out, impacted by experience. And if we're wise, we just let it be that, just allow it to be just what it is. And how challenging it is not to make more of this simple reality, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking, happen due to causes and conditions. Yet we kind of roll around within these experiences, and we create even more. We create complexity, we create conceiving, imagining, we proliferate around these simple experiences. And it's very difficult not to do this, because we also have sankhara, we have mental formations, we have habits that incline us towards, picking and choosing experience, making much of this one and ignoring the other, and kind of skewing and distorting the this reality of being assailed by different sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and thoughts from moment to moment. So even though there's so much already going on to be observed and understood, we add much, much more quite often in our conceivings, in our proliferation, in our distortion of view, in our different ways of looking. It's like we have all different coloured tinted lenses in our spectacles, or we have a mood that overlies everything, and kind of tinges our experience in different ways. So, to notice this, to be able to keep coming back to the simple experience of being here and the simple input, the receiving of sense input through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, the tongue, the body, and the mind. If we can just be with that, the Buddha said, then such a person can be like a sage at peace, a Santa Muni, peaceful sage, silent sage, a still wise person, where the tides of conceiving do not wash over, do not sweep us away, don't carry us off. Carry us off from what? Sweep us away from where? From this moment, from this present experience. And so we can really hold fast, to one thing, and that is this present experience. And when we can do this, and body awareness, breath awareness helps us so much to keep coming home and anchoring in this present moment awareness. And then we can avoid getting caught up in the tides of conceiving, in the complexity, in the proliferation that happens when we're not awake and alert in each moment. So this being our world, let's wake up to it. Let's really be able to strip away the extra layers of suffering that we bring to bear, to add to the burden of simply being here. The sensitivity, the vulnerability, the awareness is all we need to really focus on, and to open to that, to really allow ourselves to live, to be alive, to be aware in this moment. I'm reminded the Buddha talks about these 18 ways of experiencing the world, the liking, disliking, and the indifference, in the sutta where he meets a wonderful seeker, spiritual seeker, an ex-king who abdicates when he hears about the Buddha's teachings. We're told in the commentary, this king heard the Buddha's teachings, and he left his incredibly opulent and privileged lifestyle and became a wanderer, just like the Buddha and the Buddha's disciples. His name was Pukkusāti, which, funnily enough, means something like rubbish collector. But nevertheless, he was said to be a king who'd renounced the world. And the Buddha met with him in Rajgir, and he was actually seeking the Buddha. He was looking out for the Buddha, but he thought the Buddha was somewhere else altogether. He thought the Buddha was up in Savatthi, which is like hundreds of miles to the north. Perhaps the Buddha sought him out. But anyway, he found himself greeted by this other wanderer, the Buddha, not recognizing him as the Buddha. This wanderer was asking if he could stay in a potter's workshop where Pukkusāti was staying. And Pukkusāti said, of course, please feel free. And so the two of them sat all night together in meditation. And the Buddha questioned Pukkusāti in the early morning, asked him, what is your practice? Who is your teacher? And Pukkusāti told the Buddha that he was seeking the Buddha, and he was on his way to meet him, to try and find him and pay respects to him up in Savatthi. And the Buddha didn't tell Pukkusāti who he was, but he started to give him Dhamma teachings. And he taught him about these sense doors, about the 18 ways in which we experience the world. And he went on to give him a very beautiful teaching. It's one of my favourite suttas, this sutta, and often comes to mind. Because the Buddha teaches the 4 foundations in this sutta. He teaches not the 4 satipatthanas, not the 4 foundations of mindfulness, but the 4 supreme foundations, paramā, the ultimate, the highest, the superior foundations for practice and for the path. And these are, he's really speaking about the practice, the way of practice, but also the fruits of practice, the results of our practice. And these 4 foundations that the Buddha gives, these ultimate qualities. The first is wisdom, paññā. The second is truth, sacca. The third is relinquishment, letting go, cāga. And the fourth is peace, santi. And in describing to Pukkusāti this first supreme foundation of wisdom, the Buddha speaks about the elements, actually the 5 elements, and recognizing that the entire material realm, and so all of our experience of being here physically, is an experience of 5 elements. And to be able to consider the material world in terms of these qualities is very helpful for us, to enable us to see how impersonal it all is. This body is made up of 5 qualities. So there's the earth element of hardness, solidity, form, the water element, cohesion, fluidity, the fire element, temperature, the air element, movement, and the space element, the cavities, spaces in the body that enable breathing, digesting, and so forth. And so if we bring the mind to these considerations, these contemplations of the 4, 5 elements, we can really cool down the sense of self, and we can let go to a great degree of these tides of conceiving of all of the complexity of the world that we're receiving through the sense doors. And this is where meditation really offers us an opportunity, doesn't it, to wise up, develop wisdom, come into the body and consider what it's made of, how is it, and to consider the 18, as I said, the 6 senses receiving, and our relationship to what's received, liking, disliking, or indifferent, neutral feeling. And the Buddha encouraged Pukkusāti to consider the world in these ways, and he said to him that if you really pay attention to this world of the 6 senses and the liking, disliking, or indifference to what's received, then you can see that there is nothing but cause and effect playing out. Beautiful sight, pleasant feeling. Raucous sound, dissonant sound, unpleasant feeling. Neutral odor, neutral feeling, and so forth. And we can see that there's nothing personal in these responses. There's just cause and effect. Things happen and there are resultant feelings. And to be able to see this, to be able to separate out, to step back from this whole maelstrom of experience, and to simply see it in terms of cause and effect in this way, is to develop wisdom. The Buddha said it's like fire sticks. You take two fire sticks and you rub them together and you get fire. If you put one of them down, then you're not going to be able to get fire. If you don't have the fire sticks, either of them, no fire. If you have a sight and you have someone to receive it, then you have a response. It can be pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. But the point is that there's nobody orchestrating any of this, and there's no need, therefore, to create anything out of these experiences. Just to let them be what they are is to begin to see more clearly, to understand the way things are, to develop paññā, to develop wisdom. And as we kind of keep observing the elements, observing the senses, observing the world as we can experience it here, then we start to develop this beautiful quality of equanimity, upekkha, a kind of evenness, kind of calm, witnessing, a smoothness, an unruffledness. The more we observe clearly and simply through practice this world, the more we can experience this even-mindedness, this calm, upekkha. And the Buddha likened this in the sutta. The Buddha's speaking to Pukkusāti. He said it's like a goldsmith who's got the crucible, he's got the material that he's turning into gold, he's purifying it, and he's holding it in the flame, the high heat of the crucible. And sometimes he'll blow on it, sometimes he just lets it be there, sometimes takes it out of the heat. And in all different ways, the encouragement is that this can purify, this gold can purify. And I'm helping it to purify, the goldsmith, through this wise attention and holding it in this flame of presence, present moment, present awareness. And we can do this with our lives, the life that's playing out here, cause and effect. It's simply a process. And we can either be immersed in the process and kind of identifying with it and struggling with it and striving around it and carrying it like a heavy burden, or we can sit back and observe cause and effect, this resulting in that, and just allow this part of the mind to really grow and develop, and the witnessing, just like the goldsmith holding the gold in the flame, in the crucible, to be able to really pay attention. We can then really not be swept away by any tides of conceiving whatsoever. We're simply here. Wisdom can develop. The Buddha said this is the supreme foundation of wisdom. Even unto death, even as we come to our last moments of life, we can have the same attitude, just observing breath by breath, there's just so much vitality left now. There's a fading away that's happening. The body is beginning to collapse, to fall away, and to have this kind of intent, almost like scientific, like open awareness to what's actually happening without any complexity. If we can live our life mindfully and follow the Eightfold Path, live a virtuous life, live a harmless life, and develop the practice, then we can approach every moment right up until the last breath in this way, alert, attentive, and present for whatever's actually happening, seeing the input, seeing the responses, and not making it personal. The Buddha said it's like a lamp, a light, this life. We just have this much vitality, this much energy, this much bodily fitness, bodily health. It's like the wick of the lamp, dipped in the oil, the fuel is there. And slowly but surely, in this mortal realm, we are using up the oil. The oil's being burned up, drawn up into the wick, providing the fuel for the flame. And we can observe, if we're really awake and aware to the situation, we can often tell, how much is left, what more is there, how much more fuel is there. And we can notice when it starts to run out. We can, just be really interested in observing the process right up to the moment of passing away. Can we be aware of our last breath? Can we be open to this incredible transition, incredible cessation, opportunity to really fully let go that comes to us at the end of life? So the Buddha said, this ability to observe, this ability to be aware and awake, this is the ultimate, the supreme wisdom. And it's a foundation for us. This is what we're growing on the spiritual path. And the second supreme, noble quality that the Buddha spoke to Pukkusāti about was truth, sacca. What is the supreme truth? What is the ultimate truth? And of course, we probably know through our study of the Buddha's teachings that the supreme truth is the truth of Nibbana, letting go of all the greed, hatred, and delusion, letting go of all the distortions of view, letting go of everything that we know, the extinguishment, the cessation, the end. And it's not annihilation, because in order for something to be destroyed or annihilated, it has to exist. So it's not that, but it's more like the seeing through of the fabrications, of the creations, seeing their unreality, letting go of that, allowing all of that to cease, allowing the extinguishment of delusion, of illusion, of ignorance. This is the ultimate truth. This is the superior truth, the primary truth that the Buddha spoke about to Pukkusāti in this sutta. And he said, you need to cultivate this. Allow yourself to make much of this quality. Wisdom, truth, and the third foundation, the noble, superior relinquishment. Cāga, the Buddha said, is the relinquishment, the letting go of all defilements. Again, all the obscurations, letting go of greed, letting go of desire, letting go of aversion, and letting go of delusion. And it's beautiful to me. This word cāga, it means kind of giving away. So there's an aspect of generosity here also in this relinquishment. It's like a giving away what we think we have, what we think we own, letting go of that. And I love that the Buddha here says that it's like the ultimate generosity, the greatest gift, the greatest giving that can be done is the giving away of greed, giving away of hatred, giving away of delusion. This is the supreme cāga, the supreme relinquishment. Letting go of all our attachments, letting go of all our holding. Holding to what? Holding to suffering. Being willing to let go of that. Letting go of the identification with this world, making it mine, making it me, making it myself. In these ways, we can be so super generous. This is the way to really cultivate generosity. Give it all away. Anything that I relate to as me and mine, let it go. I don't mean you have to give up your home, so you have to, be homeless unless you want to ordain, which is a really good idea. But if you don't want to do that, I don't mean to give away all the possessions, all the useful things we need around us, the ways in which we survive, but to give it up here, to let go of the sense of ownership, to let go of the sense of leaning upon, depending upon, not letting our possessions be props for the mind, for the heart, recognizing them as what they are, passing through, useful but already broken, not me, not mine, not really belonging to me. How can I own anything? I don't even own this body, don't even own this consciousness. Recognize it's all passing through, seeing cause and effect. So this is the ultimate generosity. And of course, what helps us to let go of all the attachments, of all the suffering, is to develop generosity in any way we can, to develop generosity in giving, kindly, sharing, offering, giving that which we love, sharing it with others. But the ultimate, the supreme relinquishment the Buddha encouraged Pukkusāti to develop is the relinquishment of all the attachments, of all the delusions. And again, finally, the fourth of these spiritual qualities that can be a foundation for us. Just to recap, the first is wisdom, the wisdom of seeing clearly. The second is truth, sacca, the truth of the way things really are, Nibbana. And the third, cāga, relinquishment, letting go of everything. And the fourth is peace, santi. How to cultivate the supreme peace. And the Buddha encouraged Pukkusāti to look at the causes of suffering, see them right down to the roots. What are the roots of our suffering? What are the ways in which we distort and contort and distort reality in ways that torment and torture us? Greed, wanting, desire, hatred, aversion, not wanting, and confusion, delusion, ignorance, not seeing. To be able to uproot these defilements, this is the way to experience the supreme peace. And so in these 4 ways, we can have a sense of 4 qualities that can really aid us on the path, and where the path is also leading us. It leads us into a more and more sense of reality, what's true, what's real, what's not real presents itself to us again and again, and we can move through and let go of the unreal, moving closer and closer to the ultimate truth of Nibbana. And we can develop wisdom through our meditation practice and through this kind of willingness to let go of identification, to let go of selfing, as we experience in meditation the impersonal nature of our moment-to-moment feelings, thoughts, perceptions, body awareness. It's all just streaming on by, isn't it? It's all passing through. So to be able to open to that and thereby develop wisdom, to be able to let go, to be able to give up, to be able to give away any sense of me and mine, any sense of certainty, any sense of permanence, just to be able to let it all go, whatever we're experiencing. As the Buddha said, the truth is always other than that. Anything that can be experienced can be let go of. So this ultimate letting go, just to really bring that to the forefront in our practice and allow cāga, this quality of relinquishment, to develop. And then peace, peace. Peace is with us every step of the way. Peace is the way. It's a gradual, perhaps, but a very sure movement towards rest, towards relaxation, towards stillness, towards calm, towards equanimity. This peace is the path and is the end of the path. And just to say again, the supreme peace, the paramā, the excellent, the highest peace, is the peace of letting go of all the defilements, greed, hatred, and delusion. The ultimate peace of Nibbana. And all 4 qualities, letting go, wisdom, peace, and truth, are pointing 4 different ways perhaps, but all 4 are pointing directly towards Nibbana, towards the ultimate, towards that which is indescribable, towards that which is the goal of all our spiritual practice. So I wish you all well with this journey, and may these qualities be of great benefit on the path, and may they keep developing in each one of us. And I'd like to encourage people to have a look at the sutta I'm speaking about, where the Buddha meets with the ex-king who's renounced the world, Pukkusāti, who's seeking the Buddha and who's found the Buddha. And at the end of the Buddha's teaching in this sutta, it's called the Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta. It's Majjhima Nikaya number 140. At the end of this sutta, Pukkusāti realizes who's been talking to him, who's been teaching him, and he apologizes for not having realized and having kind of addressed the Buddha in a somewhat familiar way as friend. It's very touching. The Buddha actually probably sought him out and found him, and he's spent the whole night meditating with the Buddha. What a privilege. What an amazing thing. And then he realizes, oh my goodness, it's the Buddha who's teaching me these 4 qualities. It's the Buddha who's guiding me. And he asks to please go forth as a disciple of the Buddha. And of course, the Buddha says, yes, you just need to go get yourself a bowl and get some robes, and you can ordain. And actually, Pukkusāti leaves and goes out to find a bowl and robes, but he's killed by a stray cow on his way, and he dies. And afterwards, the monks go to ask the Buddha, what happened to Pukkusāti? What was his destination? And the Buddha says to them that he understood the teaching very well. He could receive the teaching and put it into practice and realize the meaning fully. And he will not be returning to the human realm. He is bound for Nibbana. He had become a non-returner, just one more lifetime in a realm of existence where he could practice very fully, and he was inevitably going to become an arahant. So it's a very beautiful story and account of this remarkable meeting. And I encourage you to read it. There's a lot more in the sutta, and I can only give a very poor summary, but it's a very beautiful and full and rich teaching. And actually, there's so much in this one sutta that one could apply oneself to the whole life and, benefit from practicing with these words from the Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta.